Hi, everyone. I know it's been a while since we last had our update like this for the COVID-19 pandemic because we just haven't had much to update. But I just wanted to give you a quick update because we do have some very exciting and yet very daunting news to share. The exciting news is that the Alberta government has included religious gatherings as part of the Phase 1 relaunch of our province, which means, in theory, we can begin to meet together again. But this is where things become daunting because church is not just opened up back the way that things used to be. There are some guidelines that we will be required to work with. And these guidelines are, in the short term, going to cause the church to look very different as we will have to sacrifice a few things. The biggest thing affecting our church is the number of people that are going to be allowed to meet together. For our church, we would have a meeting limit of about 40 people at a service. So that's going to require a couple of things to happen. One is that we're going to need to have a second service. And two, we're going to need to have a way of ensuring that only 40 people are coming to church that day, as we really don't want people to have to show up and then discover they can't come to church that day. So for the second issue, we're working on some technological solutions to help us manage that. But for the first issue, the second service time, I need to hear from you on that. With this video, I've included a short survey so we can judge the temperature of the church on some of these issues. When you have some time, if you could just quickly fill out the survey, it's about 10 questions, and let me know where you and your family are at. It will be extremely helpful as we plan our next steps. The other couple of major things that will be happening, or rather not happening, are a couple of things that the government has informed us that we're not going to be able to do. We don't have a lot of information on these, so they may be somewhat fluid, but as of right now, we will not be able to have any corporate singing as a form of worship, and we are not able to have any sort of kids ministry. We will be working on solutions and finding out ways that we can incorporate some of these things into our service as best we can, but right now we're not allowed to formally do those things. So these restrictions that the government have given us, which we totally accept and happily accept, will obviously cause our service to need to change and to look a little different in the future. Now, if you have any ideas on the things that we could do as a church in the meantime to help us with this, please don't hesitate to let me know. But the most important issue for us as a church is that in order for us to love our neighbor the way that Jesus has called us to do, first and foremost, in a situation like this, is the health and safety of our people. And if our government says we need to do church like this in order to be safe, then we will gladly make these sacrifices. There are other social distancing issues that we're working on in terms of entering and exiting the building and the washrooms and all of those kinds of things as well. But what I'm sure you're waiting to hear about is timeline. This Sunday? Next Sunday? Well, I'd love to be able to give you a specific date right now, but we're just not at that place. We have a lot of stuff to work through and some problems to solve. But as soon as we are sure that we can meet all of the guidelines and the restrictions in a safe and proper manner and have the church run well, we will be back together. Pastor Matt said when I was talking to him this morning, the church has to do this well, both for the people in the church and for those outside the church who are watching the church. And I echo that. So Pastor Matt, myself, Pastor Barry, and our church council will be working to find the best way forward for the successful relaunch of Cornerstone Church Airdrie. I miss you all so very much. And I don't want to not see you any longer than I have to. So know that we will be working very hard and very diligently to clear as many of these issues and obstacles as fast as we can. But what you can do to help would be three things. First, fill out this short survey and let us know where you're at, what your feelings are, and what you see moving forward. It will help us out greatly as we plan for the day coming very soon when we can be together again. Secondly, don't hesitate to give me ideas. If you have an idea, let me know, and I will do what I can, and we'll take it and look at it and see if we can incorporate it and see how it will work. But we need ideas. We need our church family rallying together, thinking together about how we can best move forward. And then third, please, 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 please be in prayer for your church. As we've navigated the season moving away from meeting together, and now as we begin to navigate the season coming back together with the changes and with the policy changes and the restrictions and the guidelines in place, we really need the leading of the Lord in all of this. And so if you could be in prayer for me and for all of our church leadership as we endeavor to discover what this next season of life is going to look like. We're so excited for what God's going to do and where he's going to take us, but we need him to take us there. I love you. I miss you. As family we go.